Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Greet your neighbor. Neighbor.
We're Melanie Garcia, when she was at ATI. Yeah, thank you. Welcome.
Today's invitation will be given by Seth.
Would you bow your heads with me? Father, thank you for this gathering that we're able to have today, for the building that we've been able to gather in, for the food that we have enjoyed, and for the fellowship that we've been able to experience. Lord, we're thankful for the opportunity that we have to serve our community through Rotary. Would you give us humility to see others as more important than ourselves, whether we're cheerfully greeting one another, placing flags around town, or maybe giving generously to causes for which we'll never be able to even volunteer. Would you give us eyes to see beyond the task in front of us, eyes to see how our work changes lives? Let our impact be lasting. Would the work of this Rotary Club bring hope and joy to those around us? We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Welcome to all of you and to our guests. It's great to see you here today, and I hope that you've had a great week. All of you should have received an email from our Rotary District about the Rotary International's Paul Harris Fellow Challenge. And I would ask that you hold off on sending that back with a donation, as starting in January, the club will be doing our Every Rotarian Every Year campaign. And we would like you to put whatever contribution through that. It all goes to your Paul Harris Fellow, but we get part of that money back into the community to do service projects. So we would appreciate it that Chris Pycraft will be coming up starting in January. And if you're so inclined to give a gift, we would prefer that you keep it till then. And your gift will go a lot further through us. As you know, last year when Terry was president, his thing as part of the president's comments was to do this day in history, and he'd put up his little pictures and everybody would look at them and say, yeah, remember all that. Well, I tried that a couple of times and it didn't work. Okay, every president's got to kind of have his own thing. So last week our secretary Lynn said, well, why don't you pick out something from your museum and put it up and see who knows what this stuff is. Now, I promise you nothing lethal, okay? Of course, this could be a lethal weapon too if you used it right. But so I will put something up. I know the military people in the room will know what it is, but I doubt whether any civilians. So you military guys kind of keep it to yourself. So I took this morning. Now, does any of you that have not been in the military know what that is? Yes, you could call it a can opener. We call it a P-38, okay? And it opened the sea ration cans, okay? And you see the little hole in it, you wore it on your dog tags. And so there were 8 of those in every case of food, and everybody would have one so that when you got your sea rations, you could open the cans without using your bayonet. So that's why you have it. So I'm going to try to do this each week and see if anybody gets a kick out of it. But by the way, the Marines called these a John Wayne, right, Matt? All right, Matt. That's my story. So hopefully that went over. If you didn't like it, let me know and I'll discontinue. I just thought add some humor to this crowd, wake you up. So at this point, past President Kim and the Secretary's report.
All right. Matt Martin has our traveling microphone today, and with guest introductions, we'll start with Ron Alstice.
My guests today are Evan Berry and Dave Mountain. They're both in operations at the Salters.
All right, over here, Dee Bija has a guest.
Folks, my guest is Austin Thompson, who is a client executive at One Digital, a insurance, financial services, and HR consulting company.
Past President Bob Gorman has guests.
My guest is Maddie Fuller. Maddie's an attorney at Critchfield and happens to come down to our speakers today.
And Ron Holtman has a guest.
Guest is Clay Matthew. He's returned to Worcester to be controller in Worcester Higher State.
And one of our exchange students has an update from the floor, Izumi.
I think was family on last Saturday. I was able to visit my friend's house. I'm so happy. And I'm gonna join baseball team in February. I'm so excited.
Thank you, Matt. That's it for you. We do have a few requests to come to the podium. And so in order, I'm going to ask an exchange student Sujit will come up. When Sujit is done, then Angel Lichty and Melanie Garcia have announcements.
Good afternoon, everyone. So this week was pretty busy, but it was good. On Friday, we had an international dance party, which were like top 3 songs of 25 countries. So it was pretty good. And after that, we gone to ice hockey game. My friends were there, and even some of my friends were in the team. So it was also pretty good. On Saturday, I had my bowling tournament, which was in Muskingum Invitational Hall of Fame, which was in Canton. It was a whole day tournament. We lost, but it was good. It was fun. And on Sunday, so nice of my advisor Donna. She and her coach, I gone with her to the Cleveland Orchestra. I never heard that, but it was so good. Yeah, I enjoyed it very well. And last but not least, I like in my class, one of my classes engineering, and here the teacher's name is Mr. Melrose. At first, he asked me to make like all of us to make some holiday ornament, and he asked me to make like related to Christmas, and I was like, we don't celebrate Christmas. What should I make? And he said that make something which is related to your culture and Christmas. Oh God, this was pretty hard than first one, but then I decided to make one thing which is our festival, which is our biggest festival, Diwali, festival of lights. And I made an lantern, which it's called as Akash Kandil. Akash means sky and Kandil means lantern. And I have that thing I made. I have something to give to the President Rick. Yes, for you.
Oh, thank you. Very nice.
That's what I think you guys, I don't think you guys will be able to see. It's pretty small, but yeah, we made it on like 3D laser cutting and all, so it was fun. Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Just a couple updates on the Salvation Army bell ringing. Friday morning, Greg and I received notification from the Lieutenant Haddocks at our Worcester Salvation Army that the national commander of the Salvation Army chose Wooster Rotary's bell ringing at Beeler's Milltown on Friday to match all of the donations that we made. So this was very exciting. And I just wanted to share these numbers with you. So our total was $1,117.51. So with the match, we brought in $2,235.02 just on Friday. So that's exciting news. And then also Saturday was our first time ever at Pine Tree Barn, and I feel like that went really well. So thank you to everybody that has been volunteering and chose to volunteer Saturday at Pine Tree Barn. I personally worked it with my family and it was very crowded, so I'm excited to get those numbers to see what we got on Saturday. And then lastly, I do have an opening for this Friday. Someone unfortunately had to back out. I know there was a couple of you that were interested, but the shift is 1 to 3 at Bueller's Milltown. So if anyone wants to pick that up, feel free to see me after the meeting. Otherwise, I have no problem filling that for her. So thank you.
Last week, I asked who the early birds and the night owls and the insomniacs were, and I took notes. So this week, we did have quite a few of you volunteer to fill some of the chaperone spots for the youth exchange overnighter that we're hosting here on January 7th. It is a Saturday evening, and we do still need some volunteers. We could use 2 female volunteers, one from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. and then another one from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. and another female from 3 to 5 a.m. and a male from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. So the men are winning in the volunteer race right now. If you want a big thank you to Phil Mariola, Frank Relly, and Kathy McDonald, who have volunteered already. If anyone wants to join this illustrious group, please let me know. I will be here every week until we get these filled. Thank you.
Well, thanks to all of you, the exchange students and taking them on trips and stuff, fantastic. You heard how cool that is. And so let's just keep that activity up during the year. The bell ringers, doesn't surprise me. Rotarians are very convincing people. And she would have tried to been here today, but she's in the middle of bell ringing, so it was very hard, but we will get her here after the holidays. But these volunteers, Rotarians helping with these things, just makes our visibility, and we help the community and make it be a better place. And welcome to all our guests, Zumi and Sujit, of course, and we get to see you most Mondays. Clay, I knew you weren't the Clay Matthews from the Browns, but you're a little too small, but you're welcome. And David, Evan, Austin, and Maddie, we appreciate all of you being here and would love to see you come back as members. And at this point, I would ask Mary Beth to introduce our guest speakers.
Good morning, and thank you. I'm pleased today to be able to welcome Mike and Diane Jarrett as we highlight companies from throughout Wayne County that contribute to our diverse business base and strong economic strength. Mike is president of Jarrett Companies and Diane is director of special projects at Jarrett. The Jarretts made a decision to build their privately held family-owned company in Orville many years ago, and they continue to expand their operations today and start new ventures throughout Wayne County. I think you'll enjoy learning more about their growth story. Not only are they valued business leaders in our county, but they're also deeply involved in our community, giving back on a daily basis. Mike's involvement in the Wayne County Community Foundation, the Heartland Education Community, Inc., the Mount Union Board of Trustees, and the Board of Farmers National Bank. Diane is involved with Altman Orville Hospital and serves as their chair and runs the most efficient meetings, I will say, out of anyone. She also serves on the Austin Bailey Health and Wellness Foundation and volunteers at the Wayne County Children's Services. I continue to be impressed by what I call the empire that they're building and the values and beliefs upon which their company is formed. And they continue to inspire me. They also have raised 2 very bright, outstanding young women, Maddie being one of them, and Lexi Nussbaum being another. And I will say, Maddie, please don't worry. I've been listening to your mother tell your dad to behave himself while he's up here throughout lunch. So there will be no embarrassing Maddie stories, and your dad will be on his best behavior. And I always like to say that behind every strong and successful man is a even more strong and successful female. And you will see that Diane proves that on a day-to-day basis. So please join me in welcoming Mike and Diane.
Thank you, Mary Beth. That was very nice. And you are correct. You left out that Diane is the brains behind this whole thing. So that, Diane and I have been married for almost 35 years. Our anniversary is next Monday. So I'm working with Maddie and Lexi and my two sons-in-law come up with the very best gift I can come up with. So the pressure's on. No, me and Diane met in high school. It was in chemistry class, and it wasn't chemistry at first sight. So one of my first accomplishments in life was to convince Diane to go on a date with me. Well, hey, I know we're on a tight timeline, so I want to jump in. I'm calling this presentation The Journey, and I think Ralph Walter Emerson gets the credit for saying it's not the destination, it's the journey. So hopefully what you'll see here is kind of 24 years of a journey for us. And Ralph Waldo Emerson also is famous for saying, laugh often and much, earn the respect of others, and leave the world a better place. So hopefully we can accomplish all of that as we continue on with our journey. Let's start with when we started. I'm hoping this is working here. Am I hitting the right button? Maybe not. Spacebar. Okay. There we go. Thank you, Mary Beth. I know logistics, but I don't know technology. So our journey started back in the 90s. I was working for a logistics company called Caliber Logistics based in Hudson. It was bought by FedEx. And so, I was pretty convinced that my job was going to be relocated to Memphis, where FedEx is headquartered. And as I mentioned, my wife and I met in high school. We wanted to raise our daughters in Wayne County. And so, I came up with this great idea of starting our own company. And really the goal was to create a people-centric and tech-enabled third-party logistics company. What I saw back then was with large corporations buying smaller logistics companies, there wasn't a focus on people. And that's really what I want our company to be all about. And so that was our first step, was to launch the company. And we started a company called PackShip USA. PackShip, unfortunately, I have to announce we are going to close PackShip December 30th. Our company's changed a lot over the years, but that was our first company. It was kind of our legacy company. Maddie, sorry for embarrassing you here with that picture in the upper right corner. That's Lexi and Maddie, our oldest daughter. She was 4, Maddie was 2. And, I guess if I were to throw out a suggestion for any budding entrepreneurs in the room, don't start a company when you have a 4-year-old, 2-year-old. That's what we call bad timing. But we started PackShip. A lot of people ask, why did you start PackShip? And the quick answer is we didn't have any money. So we had to start something small. And also, as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, made for really cool floats at the Orville July 4th parade. But so we launched PackShip, and we thought it was a way for us to get some revenue generating. Unfortunately, as most of you would know, the starting a business, it doesn't work that way. PackShip was losing money like crazy, so we, mortgaged our house and maxed out 3 or 4 credit cards. But we somehow survived. The goal was to start Jarrett Logistics, again, a third-party logistics company that's people-centric and tech-enabled. So we did grow pretty quickly, which is exciting to see. And by 2003, we purchased the building that we're currently in, as it served as our corporate headquarters. Today, we have customers located in 43 states, all the Canadian provinces. And we do have a goal of being the largest family-owned, privately held 3PL in the United States, which we're heading in that direction. It's really exciting. So we have expanded over the years. We have Jarrett Fleet Services. It's located in Seville. And then we have a second location for Jarrett Fleet in Kent. Our Jarrett Warehousing Division is located in Orville as well as in Pennsylvania. And then Jarrett Trucking is a specialized trucking company that's our asset side of our business. And we're also launching Jarrett International in January of 2023, which is going to be a really exciting launch for us. We also have done some what we call non-core businesses. We purchased what was the ACV plant in Orville. And we put Zephyrs in there, CrossFit Orville, Old Carolina Barbecue, and then recently renovated the old Pizza Hut building to make it into an ice cream shop. I would say of all the things that we've done over the years, I think the ice cream shop has gotten the most excitement from the community. But it's been a neat thing. A lot of people say, well, what does those businesses have to do with logistics? Well, they don't have anything to do with logistics, but they do have something to do with our approach toward being people-centric. You know, we wanted to recruit and retain the very best people. But at the same time, as Mary Beth mentioned, we're very much engaged in the community. So rather than establishing, a fitness center inside of our corporate walls and a cafeteria or a restaurant inside our corporate walls, we decided to take an old brownfield property and put a restaurant in it. We decided to put a couple of fitness centers there. And you'd be surprised how important that is on recruiting. We generate a lot of people who are interested to come to work for us because they get, a world-class fitness center right across the street that they get 50% off the membership as an employee. They have a place to go eat lunch, to bring customers in. So it's worked out really well from a, retention and recruiting standpoint for great people, but it's also an economic development initiative. We hope to, be helping out in the community and providing these opportunities for the community to grow economically. So it's been great. For those that have not been to Ore Valley Creamery, you got to go. It's got the world's greatest frozen custard. So you guys got to try it out. It's really good. All right, I want to touch on what I call the building blocks of a winning culture. I'm kind of old school. I think that Peter Drucker back in the 80s in the book called Passion for Excellence, coined the term strategy. I'm sorry, let me back up. Coined the term culture eats strategy for breakfast 7 days a week. And if you remember, for those of you that are Peter Drucker fans, he was laughed at for that. But I agree 100%. I think it all starts with culture. I think it starts with people. And so I want to go through a couple of slides about what I view as the building blocks of a winning culture. Obviously, you have a mission statement, you have a vision statement, and those are really important. Missions and visions help lay out what direction the company is going. But I think the most important statement on this slide is the value statement. I wrote the value statement about 24 years ago, right after we started, and it hasn't changed. And I think it's really important to really focus on what really means the most. To be a purpose-driven organization really starts with your core values. Our 8 core values haven't changed in 24 years either. We kept them the same because they mean so much to us. Character, entrepreneurial spirit, respect, compassion, courage, fairness, excellence, and civic responsibility. That's who we are. That's what our culture is all about. The first 7 of those core values are more behavioral. Respect, character, entrepreneurial spirit. The 8th core value is really to take action. Is to get involved in the community. I think the crowd we have today would agree 100%. And civic responsibility should be grassroots. It should be all about supporting your local community. Because if you think about across the entire country, you can move the needle, make the most impact by supporting your local community. If we had that across the country, we could really move the needle across the entire country and really make an impact from a grassroots standpoint. So that's what we really strive to do is really encourage our people to get involved in the local community and make a difference. provide support through your time, your talent, and resources, and really get involved and engaged. Another building block is your what, your how, and your why. For Jarrett, our what is to provide supply chain solutions that help companies optimize their supply chains so they can focus on things that are most important to them. That's what our what is. Our how is how we deploy those solutions. So we provide supply chain solutions, we deploy those primarily through technology. A technology platform like a transportation management system or a warehouse management system. We utilize artificial intelligence, and I can go on and on and on. But the how is how we deploy the solution to the customer. What we focus on though is the why, our purpose. The purpose is not about shareholder value. It's not about how much profit we make, what your revenue is. Your purpose is what you're about. Why do you get out of bed every day? So that's our number one priority. For us, our purpose is our people. We're a people-centric company. We focus on our people first. That's our number one priority. Now, that's a little bit different than most, right? Most companies are going to focus on, say, shareholder value, for example. Or, Amazon. What's Amazon's mission statement? Amazon's mission statement is to be the most customer-centric company on earth. That's great. I think that works for most companies. Amazon's done pretty well, but it's not putting your people first. Inspired organizations think, act, and communicate from the inside out. What that means is our number one priority is our why, our people. So we focus on our people first, and that creates a culture, a winning culture, a culture that is so strong. You can make, but sorry, I wasn't surprised to choke up here. So you can see how much you care about our people, but it's trust, it's loyalty. You want to take over? All right. But it's for people. So when you have trust and loyalty, you can make the impossible all of a sudden become possible. It's amazing what you can do when you have trust. Trust and loyalty create this culture that is so strong that you can make things happen. You can start a company 24 years ago that didn't have anything, and today is striving to be the largest privately held, family-owned company in the 3PL space. Customers don't buy our services for what we do, they buy it for why we do it. What that means is we build relationships with our customers that mean something. We truly get engaged with our customers so that they believe in why we do what we do instead of what we do and how we do it. That leads to trust and loyalty. I think trust and loyalty is a key building block to a winning culture. Trust is the glue that holds relationships together. It's our most valuable asset. Our company only grows at the speed of trust. Trust is at the base of every relationship you have. Trust should set the tone for that interpersonal relationship. And I think everybody in this room has people in their inner circle that they trust at the highest levels. I can count on my one hand how many people's in my inner circle that I trust so high that I'll ask anything and ask any question or get any advice from them. It's a very small group of people. I'm sure that's the way it is with most of us here. When you have trust, you then have loyalty. Loyalty is the infinite support that you will have given someone because of your feelings of duty and love towards them. Loyalty is critical to trusting relationships, business success, and overall happiness. So when you establish trust and loyalty, it allows you to build your culture, and I just hit a button and for some reason it's not working. I think you're taking over from me there, right? Okay, you can go to the next slide. So when you have trust and loyalty, you establish a structure and an organization that can continue to grow and do some great things. First, as I mentioned, we're family-owned and debt-free. We have no plans to change that. That's really important to us. It allows us to remain a people-first organization. Being debt-free is a big deal to us. And we're big fans, my wife and I, of the Dave Ramsey solution, right? Financial Peace University. Now, we weren't always out of debt. As I said, we started the company, we maxed out our credit cards and mortgaged our house. So it's not something that is a negative thing. As Dave Ramsey would say, if you use debt correctly, it's okay. Just keep, be financially responsible. We have 4 divisions: logistics, transportation, warehousing, and fleet in our core business, 300 plus employees. We handle over 40,000 plus shipments a month for our customers, over 300,000 square feet of warehouse space, and provide logistics services for numerous Fortune 500 companies, as well as thousands of small and mid-sized companies. So that's where we are today. Of the awards that we won, it's kind of neat to see those. 18 times Business Growth Award, 17 times Weatherhead, 15 times the Inc. 5000. We're one of only 3 companies ever to win the Inc. 5000 Growth Award more than 3 times. I'm sorry, more than 15 times. So those are really cool awards, but the one I really cherish the most is the Top Workplaces Award. We won it 5 times. It's kind of a big deal, especially in Northeast Ohio. It's orchestrated by a Plain Dealer, and it's based on surveys from your people. So I'm really excited about where we're going as a company and where we're at today. And I know I'm short on time, so I'm going to turn over and go to the next slide here. There we go. So questions. Does anybody have any questions for me? Yes.
Slow. On a recent trip up towards Milwaukee, there were warehouses going up on both sides of that, just a whole number of them. Do you see an issue with the amount of warehouse that's going in? Is it going to be overextended? Is there a reason to all these going in at this time?
Yeah, the biggest reason is e-commerce. It continues to grow double digits, and Amazon, of course, is the big player there. I think that we're getting quickly to that threshold where we're over capacity with warehouse space. As an example, Amazon just recently announced they're leasing out over 10 million square feet of warehouse space that they overbuilt. So we're not there yet. We're running through the whole supply chain disruption issues that occurred during COVID. But I think there's a possibility we could have too much capacity for warehouse space. But we do know for sure e-commerce isn't going away. It's certainly going to keep growing much faster than brick and mortar sales. So whenever there's something sold online, you need to have a warehouse to do, warehousing, picking, packing, and shipping, or order fulfillment for those orders. So I'm very optimistic. Obviously, we're adding 105,000 square feet to our warehouse in Warville as we speak. It's hopefully done here in the next month. So I'm very optimistic about warehousing, but I think it's going to start to plateau. Yes.
Could you give us an example in real simple terms of what you do with merchandise that's stored in your warehouses that can add income, add value? Just a couple simple examples.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. What we do is we provide order fulfillment for the majority of our customers. We do some storage, but straight storage is not really what we do best. We'll provide a roof with 4 walls for product. It's really about order fulfillment, and we use a warehouse management system that's very robust that allows companies to see their inventory, to see what we pick, pack, and ship that day, the orders we fulfill. We have the ability through API connections to connect right to their customers' ERP system. A lot of companies use Spotify as Yes, that's the, no, not Spotify, what's the, third party? There's a third party e-commerce, there's one called WooCommerce, not related to Wooster. But those software packages are, companies use those, so what we do is we link right into those, and we can fill the company's orders directly from our warehouse. And they do not have to employ any people. It's a very capital intensive side of the business, you have to build a warehouse. You gotta staff it, you gotta buy the equipment, buy the racking. So when we're providing fulfillment services, we're really providing a tremendous amount of value to the customer. They can then spend their time on things like research and development or sales and marketing, or those things that mean more to their company than fulfilling orders.
Thanks, Chairman Mike. How do you see the impact happening with the Intel development of Columbus?
Well, it's a big deal. It's multi-billion in investment. I think it's going to help the state a lot. It's going to be a ripple effect. I think that that kind of investment that Intel's making, of course, the state is making a huge amount of investment as well, is going to help in recruiting high-tech jobs. Now, you got to be careful for local companies because I think a lot of their tech jobs can work from home, so they can recruit from all over. But I think it's going to draw more of a technology base to our, not just the Columbus area, but I think to the entire state. So I see it as being a big plus. I really do. Yes, Steve.
I'm a firm believer that behind every successful man is an even more successful woman. So it's a question for Diane.
Hey,
Would what have you to Jarrett and his growth?
Okay.
do you want to stand up? Sure. Let me just add I twist that a little bit. I say beside every successful man is a successful woman, and behind him is a stunned mother.
Hi, everybody. My background actually is in nursing. So I am a nurse. I do have an active nursing license. And although I do work in the businesses, particularly on those that are out of the transportation space, the fitness and the restaurant businesses, I have at this point in my life also gotten an opportunity to go back to some of the nursing or hospital influence type things. And I'm really excited to do that as well, because I'm maybe that's more my gift maybe than the risk-taking entrepreneurial endeavor that I've been on for the last 25 years. So yeah, thank you.
Like you mentioned that your company is tech enabled, and I'm just interested in what you see as the future technologies that might influence logistics, like drone deliveries and things like that.
Well, the big one, Melanie, is autonomous trucks. And I know that kind of scares a lot of people to see a big semi head down the highway without a driver. But it is coming, it's coming, and it'll be safer, believe it or not, than having guys behind the wheel. They keep changing the date on when they think we'll get one on the road. They've been testing it for quite a while. So I think autonomous trucks is going to be big, because we've had a driver shortage for years. And even during low periods of freight activity, which we're in one right now, I don't know if anyone's aware of that, but the freight market is very soft. It's a really good indicator of what is coming down the pipe from an economic standpoint. But even during the slower freight times we're having right now, it is still an issue, driver shortage. So I see that from technology and supply chain. Robotics is another big thing. Robotics, particularly in warehouses. The question earlier about warehouse overbuild. E-commerce isn't slowing down, so having robotics in your warehouse to fulfill orders is going to be big as well.
I want you guys to report and try and understand that without trusting oil, you really won't have very much, and it's very shallow. And Many of us learned that in the military. If you don't have that, you don't last very long. Well, in appreciation for both of you being here today, we'd like to present both of you with a rendition of the rotary wheel with the four-way test on the back made by students at the Village Network. And we really appreciate you being here today. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. It's always great to see successful local companies, and we know that Jarrett's been a great neighbor of Wayne County and for many, many years to come. It's interesting, you're in those other such circle of things that don't seem to go into logistics, but just as important. So, thank you for being here, all of our guests. We hope to see you again, and maybe you'll decide to join. We'd love to have you. Next Monday's program is called The Life of an Athletic Trainer by Nate Houston, head athletic trainer at the College of Wooster. That should be interesting. I don't believe he's ever been here. We will also be presenting checks to all the partners in the flag program next week. So you'll get a chance to have all of our flag partners here. And all of you have a great week, and we stand adjourned. Thank you very much.